right. I think this is on, right? Perfect. All right, let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the SharePoint Server 2019 overview. My name is Heini Loza. I'm a PM manager in the SharePoint and OneDrive organization. In my current role, my team is responsible for 3 key areas: the SharePoint on-prem releases, hybrid investments, and migration investments. I've been Microsoft for a little over 23 years, and in SharePoint for about 20 years. I'm very proud to say that I've been on every single release of SharePoint, including SharePoint 2001.
Nice.
It has been a phenomenal journey being part of such a great product and seeing the millions of users that are impacted by the product and the community that the product has built around it. It's also great to look back at how the product itself evolved from SharePoint 2001 that was deployed on a single machine all the way to our massive scale in Office 365 and now with this great SharePoint 2019 release. We are super excited to be on stage this afternoon and share with you all the great innovation that's coming to the on-prem release and how this release is going to improve the productivity and security of your environment.
Awesome. Thank you, Heini. Hey, everybody. My name is Troy Starr. I'm also a member of the SharePoint product team. I haven't been a part of the team quite as long as Heini. I thought I was an old-timer at 16 years, but you beat me at 20. But yeah, so I've been a part of the team for quite a while there. Done a variety of roles in the team. I started off as a tester, eventually became a developer, and now I'm a program manager in the team. Most of my time there has been focused on a lot of the IT admin features, things like alternate access mappings. Some of you may be familiar with that. And more recently with MinRole in SharePoint 2016. So it's definitely been very exciting to see the evolution of SharePoint over all those years, and very thrilled to be with you today to talk about SharePoint 2019.
Awesome. Thank you, Troy. So let's dive into SharePoint 2019. This release is a pivotal on-prem release. It is the best on-prem release ever for SharePoint. Yes. So SharePoint 2019 is a modern platform that delivers the next generation of user experiences and IT infrastructure. Looking from the size of the room, and we completely understand that SharePoint has a good, solid on-prem presence. And SharePoint 2019 affirms our commitment to every SharePoint on-prem customer out there. In addition, SharePoint 2019 brings the cloud innovation to you. It offers the most end-user experiences ever offered in a single release to help modernize your productivity and modernize your IT infrastructure. And with more than 60% of our customers are hybrid connected, SharePoint 2019 gets your on-prem environment closer to the cloud by giving you a seamless and consistent experience between what you have in your on-prem farm and your cloud tenancy. SharePoint 2019 will continue the cloud-born release model. We started this strategy with SharePoint 2016, where we took a snapshot of the code base that's running in the cloud, we packaged it, and we delivered it to our on-prem customer in the on-prem release. SharePoint 2019 will follow the same model. And this model actually proved to be a great strategy for our on-prem customers because it delivers features that have been used by millions of our users in the cloud well before it's delivered to our on-prem customers. Let's take, for example, most of the features in SharePoint 2019 have been running in production in the cloud for many, many months. They've been well used by millions of customers. They've been tuned for you and ready for you to deploy it in your environment. With the cloud-born release model, not every single cloud feature makes it on-prem. Some cloud features have dependencies on cloud components that are designed only for the cloud, and they're not designed for on-prem. Let's take, for example, Graph. It's a cloud-only component, so any features that depend on Graph is a cloud-only feature and will not make it to on-prem. In addition, the cloud moves at a much faster pace than on-prem. So remember I told you we take that snapshot for SharePoint 2019. As soon as we take that snapshot, shortly after, new features and capability would light up in the cloud, and those features will not make it in this on-prem release. This is just the cadence of how fast the cloud updates compared to the on-prem release cycle. But you can bridge this gap with hybrid. Once you enable hybrid in your on-prem environment, now the hybrid services will get to use the latest and greatest features that's out there in the cloud, and you'll be able to bridge the gap and bring the cloud closer to your environment. I'm sure many of you have seen a similar slide in different presentations when Jeff talks about the value of SharePoint on OneDrive and other SharePoint on OneDrive talks. So for SharePoint 2019, given that it's a cloud-born release, we align with 3 core pillars from the cloud. In addition to the core pillars, we deliver value for SharePoint developers as well as IT admins. So throughout this presentation, we're going to dive into every single one of these pillars and just share with you some highlights of the innovation that's coming to SharePoint 2019. Troy?
All right, thank you, Haney. So why don't we start with talking about sharing and working together. This forms the core of our modern collaboration experience, and we at Microsoft have made a big investment in this area for the SharePoint 2019 release. Why don't we take a closer look at those investments? We start off with site creation. Now, self-service site creation really unlocks your user's ability to be productive without the overhead of contacting IT help desk. So we've tried to simplify the self-service site creation experience for your users. Those users can now create team sites and communication sites right from the SharePoint homepage. Now, some of you may remember the days back when you would kick off site creation, then go grab a cup of coffee, go have a chat with your coworkers, basically because you knew that it would take quite a while for that site creation to finish. Now, in SharePoint 2016, we improved that experience with fast site creation for your OneDrive personal sites. And now in SharePoint 2019, we're expanding that capability to include team sites and communication sites. So now your new sites will be ready to go in a matter of seconds. And speaking of sites, let's talk about the anchor of SharePoint collaboration, the team site. In SharePoint 2019, we've reinvented the team site as the modern team site. Modern team sites provide an updated experience for your home page, news, document libraries, lists, and pages. These are easy to customize with a user experience that's designed to scale across all of your devices. In addition, you'll notice that the navigation and app launcher have been refreshed to more closely match the current experience in Office 365. This is really helpful for those hybrid scenarios, so you have a consistent experience whether you're on-prem or in the cloud. Now, although the modern team sites look similar to what's currently available in SharePoint Online, there is one key difference. On-prem team sites are not group connected. Groups are a cloud-only capability, and they aren't going to be available for on-prem team sites. Also, for customers who are upgrading from SharePoint 2016, your existing team sites will remain as what we now call classic team sites, sticking with the classic homepage. However, you will still have the ability to take advantage of modern lists and modern document libraries in those upgraded sites. And once you're on SharePoint 2019, you'll be able to create new sites using the modern team site template. Now, in SharePoint 2016, Feature Pack 1, we introduced the modern OneDrive user experience to our on-prem customers. In 2019, we've taken that modern user experience and applied it to document libraries and SharePoint sites, giving users a consistent document library experience across OneDrive and SharePoint. That modern user experience is responsive and scales from desktop to mobile devices. You can pin your most important documents to the top of your library, ensuring that users can easily find them. And we provide a new simplified UI to move and copy documents within your site. Now, powerful collaboration requires a simplified sharing experience. That's why we've also introduced a modern sharing experience, making it easy for users to share their content with individuals or groups within their organization. The new sharing experience makes it easy to understand who has access to that content. And those users will be invited to access that content with our new sharing email template. Finally, we also introduce the new Details pane, which gives users better insight to their documents. The Details pane provides a preview of the documents when your SharePoint farm is connected to Office Online Server. It tells you which individuals or groups have access to your documents, important metadata from your documents, and the history of the most recent activity of your documents. All of this without having to leave the main list view. And speaking of list, new for 2019 is the modern list experience. Now here we've taken the same design principles and applied them to lists to give users a more focused and visually engaging way to work with your data. We've done this by updating our architecture to better leverage client-side rendering technologies. Let's start with the list view. With the classic UI, users were taken from one page to another as they interacted with their lists, adding or editing items, columns, and so on. Users could lose their train of thought with so much context switching. But now with modern lists, you'll be able to add, update, or remove list items and columns directly from the list view. That helps you stay focused on your data. We've also introduced a new filtering pane, which makes it easy to filter your list data to find exactly what you're looking for. Your list view is updated as you select your filter choices. Once you tweak your filter exactly the way you want it to be, you can save it as a new list view so you can use it again in the future. You'll be able to take advantage of our new bulk editing capability in the Details pane to quickly update some or all of the items in your list all at once. And again, thanks to our modern UX, you'll be able to see those updates live in the list view without having to refresh the page. Now, data visualization options have been expanded thanks to our new column formatting support. Users can leverage JSON technology to add visualizations such as data bars, color coding, custom action links, and more to create visually compelling views that communicate the key data much faster than words alone. A gallery of column formatting samples is available on GitHub to make it easy for users to copy and paste them into your own lists. And since the gallery accepts contributions from the entire SharePoint community, you can share new ways to format columns with others so everyone can benefit. Now, while we focused on making modern lists and libraries a powerful yet simple experience, there may be some situations where some functionality isn't available in the modern view. For those situations, we still support the classic view for both lists and document libraries. Users can switch back and forth between the modern view and the classic view with a link at the bottom of the page. Now, in addition to lists and libraries, we've also brought the modern experience to SharePoint pages. SharePoint 2019 gives users the ability to build modern pages that can render well across your devices from desktop to mobile. Modern pages give you a rich authoring experience thanks to the modern web parts that we include in SharePoint. These modern web parts are built on the SharePoint framework, our new customization model that's been designed to work well across both the cloud and on-prem. We first introduced the SharePoint framework to on-prem in SharePoint 2016 Feature Pack 2, but we didn't ship any built-in web parts at that time. With SharePoint 2019, we've added a variety of out-of-box modern web parts to help you create your pages. All right, our favorite topic, really. How many people out here right now are syncing their on-prem documents with their personal computers and devices? All right, we got some. How many people wish they could do that, but they're not having a great experience right now with Groove? Got some more here. Well, the good news is we have heard that feedback, and we totally agree with it, loud and clear. Our engineering team has spent the past few years rebuilding our syncing experience from the ground up. The new OneDrive Sync client, also known as the Next Generation Sync client, has already been deployed to SharePoint Online, and customers have told us how happy they are because the new syncing experience is so much faster and more reliable. Well, we're now ready to add that support to SharePoint 2019. The OneDrive Sync client will support content stored in both OneDrive personal sites as well as SharePoint team sites. You'll be able to take advantage of new syncing experiences like files on demand, push notification for instant sync refreshes when changes are made to your data, and so on. And let's not forget the mobile experience. Scroll a little bit. Thank you. You'll be able to sync the content with your mobile devices as well. Now, these are just some of the improvements we made in the sharing and collaboration space in SharePoint. How are you liking it so far? Good. Yeah, we're definitely very excited by it. So let me bring back Haney to tell you more about the improvements that are coming in SharePoint 2019.
I just want to make sure that everybody heard it correctly. No more Groove in SharePoint 2019. It's a next generation sync client. That's right. Awesome. So that brings us to the next pillar, which is inform and engage. And this pillar, it's all about connecting your employees to resources and data that they need and relevant to them to do their job. And in SharePoint 2019, it offers multiple features to keep you individually, your team, and your organization always engaged and informed. Starting with the SharePoint Home. How many of you are familiar with SharePoint Home in the cloud? Great. So it's a great experience, and we're bringing that to SharePoint 2019. This is going to be your landing page in SharePoint 2019, where you can get all relevant information like sites, activities, news, all the information that's relevant to you in one place. And if you recall, SharePoint Home in the cloud is powered by the graph. But the graph is a cloud-only feature. It's not intended for on-prem. But we wanted to bring the experience and the value that SP Home provides. So for on-prem, SP Home is going to be powered by the on-prem search engine. Next is the Teams News feature. This feature enables you to communicate all interesting information and interesting stories that are relevant to your team. You can quickly create beautiful pages like status report, team news, announcements, any other scenarios, using and leveraging the modern pages and web parts that Troy mentioned in the earlier conversation. And once you're on the modern pages, you can include videos, images, rich format, rich editing capabilities to make a beautiful pages to get your point across in these news posts. And you can easily create them from the home page of your home site, of your team site. And once you publish it, they get showcased right on the home page of your team site, but they also show in SP Home. So it reaches everybody in your organization or everybody in your team. Next, SharePoint 2019 will deliver communication site. And communication site is a new type of site that intended to communicate to a broader set of audience across your organization. So you can quickly create communication site by going to SP Home. You go to the new site creation UI and create those communication sites. In a few clicks, you get a beautiful starting page that you can customize the layouts, add web parts, add rich content in order to get your point across and communicate across your organization. So to recap with these three features, SP Home keeps you with everything relevant to you. The team news keeps your team engaged. And then communication site keeps everyone in the organization engaged. The great beauty of SharePoint 2019 is you continue while you're on the go. So you have great mobile capabilities. Using the SharePoint app, you can render your sites, your news, your comm site, communication sites with full fidelity, and they render perfectly. So you won't miss any of the information that you care about. And a key way to continue to stay informed and engaged is through search. In SharePoint 2019, the new search capabilities help everyone find information and the right information quickly. So starting with the search control, it provides contextual search results. So you don't have to leave to a different page in order to find the information that you're looking for. And the new search results page allows you to filter and scope search results, again, to get to the right information as quickly as you can. And we understand that hybrid search is one of the most used features in a hybrid configuration. And we're working hard to make that configuration easier every time. And now, hybrid search is included in the hybrid configuration wizard, so you can easily configure that in your environment and start bridging the gap between on-prem and the cloud. So far, we threw a lot of slides at you. Are you ready for a demo? Let's do it. Troy?
Thank you, Haney. Switch over here. All right. So as Haney showed earlier, one of our starting points for SharePoint is the SharePoint home experience. This is a personalized experience for every individual user in your organization. Now, the way we personalize it is through the following activity. Users can choose their most important sites that they care about and follow them. By following them, they will show up as cards here on SharePoint Home. And not only do they show up on SharePoint Home, but you see the most recent activity that's been happening within your followed sites. Now, we realize that sometimes there's interesting things happening in sites that you're aware of, but there may be things happening in sites that you're not aware of, which may be relevant to you. So SharePoint uses the power of search to try to figure out what are the most interesting sites that you may be interested in, but are not currently following. And we use the suggested sites feature to expose that to you in SharePoint Home. So suggested sites will be things that have activity happening that might be interesting to you that you're not currently following. And by showing them here in SharePoint Home, you can have access to them and choose to follow them if you want to. Now, in addition to those two, we also want to promote the top news from those sites. News can come from either followed sites or suggested sites, and they show up here at the top of the page. Now here we just see like the top set of news that fit in the screen, but if you want to see more, you can use the See All link, and the additional ones will render right on that page. Now as we head back, on the left side of the screen, you may notice a featured links section. So this is an area where the organization can choose to have a set of links that appear for all users on their SharePoint home site. So your most commonly used areas can show up right here, and they're easily accessible to all of those users. Now why don't we take a look at search? So if I search in SharePoint Home, you'll notice a new search experience out of the SharePoint home page. This modern search results page combines search results from sites, files, and people all at once. Now here you notice that we search for Contoso. We see 2 sites relevant to Contoso. We see a variety of files, and we see basically everybody who works for Contoso listed over here. Now as you notice, there are probably more links here than are being shown on this page. But if you click See All, you can actually see additional search results, including folders and files. If you wish, you can actually filter what type of results you see. Right now we're filtering on files, but if we were to filter on people, we would see that. In addition to this, you'll notice that in the search box, if I type in search terms, I'm getting instant search results as I type. So this is a new thing in SharePoint 2019 that we think users will really appreciate. Yeah. So why don't we head back to SharePoint Home and take a look at that site creation experience. So at the top of the page, I'll click Create Site. From here, I have 2 very straightforward options to pick from. I can create a team site or a communication site. Why don't we go with team site? So here, I can just type in the site name as I want it to be. I'll just call it My Ignite Test Site, which even rhymes. All right. Now you'll notice that the Create Site experience is actually checked to see if that URL is available. If it is, then great, it can use it. If it's not, it will automatically update the URL to pick one that is available, so I don't have to worry about that. But if I wanted to, I could override the default choice, and I could put a custom site URL in there for my new team site. So why don't we go ahead and create that new team site. Now, as I said before, in the past, it would have taken you minutes to have this new site created. But here, site creation was finished before I even finished that sentence.
How about that?
And here it is. You have a nice modern team site to get yourself started. Now, how many of you know Bill Bear? gotta be more than that. People here? All right, so Bill has been very instrumental in helping make sure that Ignite is ready to go for you. And he's actually asked for my help to help update some of his sites while he's busy with his conference. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch to his site here. Should go over to the site here. So Bill has asked me to help update this marketing site for him. Now, in this site, you'll notice that we have news as front and center because we think that having news be the most prominent place in the site keeps you engaged and informed about what's going on and makes the site more relevant to you. Now, Bill has asked me to update the news with a new initiative that's happening within the marketing organization. So in the news section, I'm just going to click Add here to create a news post. And then let me go ahead and actually go into my files and get these descriptions here. So here, I'm going to create a news post called The New International Marketing Initiatives. And down in the text area, I'm going to add a web part to add some text here. Now, make sure I'm copying that right. There we go. There we go. So here we have, obviously a very simple web part here to go ahead and add text. But you see here we provide a variety of formatting options within this web part. Now, in addition to that, we can also make this news post a lot more beautiful by adding some images. So why don't we start off with adding a simple image. In fact, let me just make this full screen so you can see it better. So we'll add a simple image here. And I have a variety to choose from, but I'll go ahead and I'll upload an image from my machine. There we go. So here's the image I've uploaded. Click on Add Image. And there it is, right there in the news post. And just to give it some more visual panache, I'm actually going to add a background image to the headline. I do that by clicking the Add Image button in that web part. Pick another thing to upload. We'll go with this one. I'll add that. And now I have this image available as well, and I'll just actually move the focus more toward the whiteboard area. Hit Publish. And there we go. We're taken back to the home page with a new news post ready to go, which is already visually engaging. And if we click on it, we can even see the more details in here. So it's a very beautiful news post that people can stay engaged about what's happening in your site. In addition, at the bottom, we've integrated a comments area so that people can actually post their comments about these news posts. So in addition to that, let me show you our updated document experience. So here we have a modern document library in a modern team site. Now, this looks probably very familiar to those of you who've been using SharePoint Online, and even SharePoint on-prem in previous releases, because you basically see a list of documents. But what is new this time around is that we have new abilities to do things like making sure that the most important documents are pinned to the top of the document library. So for example, this positioning for the web document, I think that's actually a very important document for people to see in this library. So I'll click Pin to Top, and now that document is pinned right there to the top for everyone to see in this document library. Let me do the same with this additional document here. We'll do that to the marketing to your audience. So you can pin multiple documents to the top of your document library for the most critical documents to your site. Now, why don't we take a look at an individual document and get some more details about it. So I selected the document, and I'm going to open up the details pane on the right. Well, actually, I'll uncheck that one document. There we go. So here we see for this document the most critical information about that document in the details pane. We see a preview of that document being generated by Office Online Server. We see who has permission to that document. Specifically, we have Bill and the standard team site groups. We see the most important properties of the document, as well as the recent activity that's happened in that document. And the great thing about this is this has all happened while you're still in the list view. You don't have to keep on bouncing between one page to another to get these details. All right, so why don't we move on to SharePoint lists? Now this is our holiday party list for the marketing team. Now, you might already notice that there's something a little bit special about this list compared to others. Can anybody see what's special so far? If you look at the Assigned To field, you'll notice that there's this special little icon next to each name, this little letter icon. Well, these are actually a custom action link that's generated by column formatting. I've actually, ahead of time, added some column formatting here so that every single person on this Assigned To field can have an email link. If I click this link, this will actually open my email client, and it will send an email to the person that was listed in that Assigned To field with a pre-populated body of a message here. So for example, this is going to be sent to Bill, and it's going to say, hey, Bill, how is this task coming along? With a direct link to the task that I had just clicked on. This is all thanks to column formatting, which has access to a variety of built-in fields for your SharePoint lists and libraries. So it's a very powerful tool to do custom actions within SharePoint lists. And as helpful as that is, I think there's probably more I could do with column formatting to make this list visually engaging. For example, the status fields and effort fields, I feel that there's probably an easier way to help me to understand immediately what's happening there. So what I want to do is add some additional column formatting to those fields. So let me switch back here and go back to our holiday party. And let's start with the effort field. Now what I've done is, ahead of time, I've captured some JSON from our column formatting gallery. And what I'll do is I'll say, let's apply that formatting to this column.
I think you grabbed from effort.
Is that? Oh, did I do the wrong one? Yeah. So we'll do the effort here. I'll say format this column. So here on the right side, I will just paste that column formatting, hit save, and now notice that the effort column has a data bar generated right there. So now you can very simply and visually see how much effort is being required for each of these list items. Let's do the same thing for the status field. So we'll go ahead and grab the JSON for the status field. Do format this column. And paste. So now the status column has been updated to apply custom color coding and icons to explain to you what the status of your list is. So now that we have that, why don't we look at our new filtering pane? So filtering is a very powerful tool for SharePoint lists. And this filtering pane makes powerful tools simple for users. For example, I can see I want to filter based on who things are assigned to. So we can look at Troy, Bill, and Haney. So yeah, we see we got a couple of items assigned to the three of us. However, it looks like we also have a couple items that are blocked. Looks like Haney, you have a couple items that are blocked there.
I've been slacking.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that as I applied those filtering, you see that happening in the list live. I'm not going to new pages. I'm not having to refresh the page. These are all happening live. Now, as I'm going through these lists, I may want to say, let me update some of these list items. So for example, I know that for these items that are assigned to me, a couple of them are in December. And you know what? I know that I'm going to be out of town that week in December for the holidays. And I won't be around to be able to perform that item. So what I want to do is reassign those tasks to another person. So let me just go ahead and select those two items and switch back to the details pane. Now, because I've selected multiple items, I have the ability to bulk edit those items all at once. So for example, instead of having it be assigned to me, let me just go ahead and reassign them to Haney.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
You're welcome. I hit save, and you'll notice that instantly the list view has been updated with those changes. So now instead of those 2 items being assigned to me, they're now assigned to Haney. And since you were blocked on those other items, I now assume that you have plenty of time to work on these too, right?
We'll have a great discussion in our one-on-one.
Yeah. So we switch back to filtering view. Let's look at the things that are assigned to me and Haney and Bill. And now you know what? This view is actually very interesting to me because I think that I'm going to want to refer back to this in the future with these special filterings. So what I can do here with this current selection of filtering is I can actually save this immediately as a new view. I just go up to the view selector, hit save view, give it an item. I'll call it Troy, Haney, and Bill. And there it is. I've saved a brand new view for this SharePoint list. And I did that live as I was thinking about it instead of having to first go to create a new view and then think about the filtering. So it really is a very intuitive experience for those users. So next, why don't we take a look at the communication site. So here is our communication site in SharePoint 2019. So it's a very beautiful experience because out of the box, we give you what we call the hero web part. This web part is designed to make beautiful communication sites easy for even the most novice of user because we have a great out-of-box design for you. In this web part, you can customize each individual item to point to wherever you'd like to and to use whatever images you'd like. Below the hero web part, as always, we have news because we think, again, having news items on your site will keep it interesting for those users and keep them engaged to come back to your site for more. Below that, we have a special events view of a site calendar. This view makes it very easy for people to understand what is happening within your organization and what's coming up. For example, we see that there's a conference going on this week called Microsoft Ignite. Maybe you've heard of it. In fact, right now, there's a SharePoint 2019 overview happening. Oh, and actually, right after this one, it looks like Haney, there's a migration talk happening over at the Hyatt.
That's right.
That might be something we might want to go take a look at. And even if we can't make it to that one, hopefully by tomorrow night, you'll come and join us at the Ignite celebration over at Universal. Finally, we have this activity web part, which shows the most recent set of activities that's been happening to the site. It includes a variety of updates to our documents. Now, there's actually one special thing about this communication site which you may not have noticed yet, which is unique to SharePoint on-prem compared to SharePoint Online. Anybody guess what that is? Well, I'll tell you. This communication site exists at the root of this web application. Yeah, it's pretty good. In SharePoint Online, that's not an easy thing to do, but SharePoint on-prem, you can create communication sites at the root of your web application very, very easily. All right. So next up, why don't we talk about your OneDrive site? So here is our OneDrive site in SharePoint 2019. Now, for those of you who have installed Feature Pack 1 for SharePoint 2016, this actually probably looks very familiar to you because we've already introduced this in that release. Now, what is new this time around is our ability to integrate with the OneDrive sync client. Would you like to see that? All right. So we will go ahead, we will click on the sync button, which will go ahead and launch our sync experience. All right, now I've been invited to set up OneDrive with my account. I will sign into that account. Hit OK. And now the OneDrive sync client is setting up that sync relationship with my personal OneDrive site. There we go. And there, we see that it's already set up that sync relationship. And there are a couple of special things about this relationship that you might notice. First off, this is using files on demand by default. What that means is that the files that we're syncing have not actually been downloaded to my device, just a reference to those files. When I try to open a document, that's the point where it actually tries to download them. So for example, if I open up this CR227 product pitch, the sync client is going to go ahead, download that document from the SharePoint OneDrive site, and once it's downloaded, it will open it up in PowerPoint automatically. And I can choose to have as many documents downloaded and available offline as I wish, or if I don't want to have it available offline anymore, I can just tell it to free up some space. And by freeing up space, it's no longer downloaded to my computer, but I still have that syncing relationship with it. The other great thing about the OneDrive sync experience is that with push notification, anytime I make a change, my OneDrive sync client is notified immediately of that change. So let me try uploading a document to my OneDrive site and see how that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this elevator pitch document, and I'm going to drag it over into my personal OneDrive site. That show up there?
I have to wait 15 minutes for it to show up, is that right?
Not that long at all. Let me do it one more time here. Here we go. There we go. So we're uploading that document to my OneDrive site. That upload is complete. Now if I go take a look at my sync client, you see that the elevator pitch has already shown up there. It instantly synced that change. Yeah. So these are just some of the impressive new capabilities that we have in SharePoint 2019. But we don't stop there. I think we have some new mobile experiences to show, Shani.
Yes. So mobile allows you to stay engaged with all this information while you're on the go. So right here, I'm in the SharePoint mobile app. I have the list of all the sites. I'm connected to my SharePoint farm. I have the list of sites that are available. First, I'm going to go to this executive corner, which is a communications site. If you recall, it's exactly what Troy showed you on the desktop. You still have the hero web part with full fidelity. You can scroll through the different icons in there and click through to get these updates. Also, I have access to news that the organization pushed for wider audience, and I can access any of this news and get the latest information there. Also, the events web part shows up perfectly, and I didn't need to do anything. It scales perfectly for my phone, and it renders all the information I need to know. Similarly, for the activities and the documents, I have this beautiful scroll to get access to the documents that my organization is pushing for me to read. If I go back, I'm going to look at my site, or our team site, Contoso Marketing, because we're working with Troy and Bill on the news. And as soon as I get there, and remember, this is the news post that Troy just created 16 minutes ago. Once I click on it, I get full fidelity of that news post with the images and the text rendered perfectly. So I don't get to miss anything while on the go. And again, all other web parts show perfectly on the team site. So the different news, all the activities, and I can see Troy and Bill has been busy preparing for Ignite. And so I never miss any information from our team. And if I go there and look for the search results, again, if I do look for Contoso, again, right away, the search results gets there. I click on the Word document, and the Word document would render perfectly with full fidelity, and I'm ready to collaborate with my team. So that's just a little update of what's coming off SharePoint 2019. How do you guys like your new on-prem server? Awesome. All right, so with that, we get to our third pillar, which is transform business processes. And in this pillar, we emphasize the modernizing productivity of your business. SharePoint 2019 offers integration with Power App and Flow service, similar to SharePoint 2016. This is a hybrid-only connection. There will not be direct UI integration from the modern pages directly to the Power App and Flow service. You would need to start from the service and connect to your on-prem farm using the on-prem data gateway. But for SharePoint 2019 Flow connector, we provide improvements like the content approval status action and support for multi-valued fields, so you can have additional scenarios that you can support in your flow. And then we understand that SharePoint 2010 and SharePoint 2013 workflows are heavily used by our customers. These workflows will continue to be supported in SharePoint 2019, so you don't have to worry about those. They will be supported using the Microsoft Workflow Manager. Earlier, we disclosed that we intended to support the new SharePoint Workflow Manager. This component did not land on time for the release, but our commitment to continue supporting the SharePoint 2013 workflows remains. Service Bus 1.1 and Workflow Manager 1.0 CO5 will continue to be supported for the life of SharePoint 2019. And earlier this year, both of these components added support for TLS 1.2. So you should rest assured that all your SharePoint 2013 workflow needs will continue to be supported and working perfectly for 2019. Next is Project Server. Starting with SharePoint 2016, Project Server was included as part of the SharePoint install. So all you need to do is enable the project license, and all the project services and features would light up. We got great feedback from our customers that this was a great move because it simplifies the install and simplifies the management and the patching of these farms. It's only one patch that patches both servers. You didn't need to worry about downloading multiple patches or worry about the sequence of those. In SharePoint 2019, we're going to follow the same thing. The install will also include the Project Server 2019, where they deliver cloud-born features as well. And they focus on delivering features that will make it easier for people to collaborate on the project file and easier to manage these project files. They also provide more business insights, so you can stay on top of your business deliverables and your tasks. Project Server also delivers modern infrastructure by improving the accessibility features, as well as improved perf, and it's GDPR ready. So there is a talk tomorrow at 4:30 that's going to be dedicated to Project Server 2019. I encourage you, if project is interesting in your organization, please attend this session. So that kind of wraps up the three main pillars that were aligned with the cloud. Let's talk about the value that we have for our developers. And SharePoint developers are one of the most active development communities for Microsoft. And we want to modernize their experience as well. So SharePoint 2019 will support the SharePoint framework. SharePoint developers will be able to build custom web parts, the client-side web parts, using the same framework and tools that we, the SharePoint team, uses to build our own first-party web parts. Also, we'll deliver the SharePoint framework extension that allow you to extend the SharePoint modern experience with custom actions to extend the business needs of your organization, as well as customize fields within a list or add script for custom rendering. Gives you a lot of flexibility of how to extend the SharePoint experience. Also, webhooks will be supported for SharePoint 2019, where you can connect a service to listen to events that are happening in SharePoint, so you can build custom solutions to meet the specific needs of your organization. SharePoint Framework gives the developers great value because now they have a common development platform that can develop solutions both for on-prem and the cloud. And the best thing is the solutions that are built for on-prem, these solutions are future-proof. When you're ready to migrate, these solutions should migrate easily to the cloud you don't need to think about rewriting them. And for the end user as well, it's a great benefit because now if you're in a hybrid connection where you have an on-prem and a cloud presence, your solutions will render perfectly and seamlessly between both of these experiences. So the end users will have a common experience between both of these environments. Do you want to talk about IT value?
Absolutely. All right. So you've seen all the great improvements we brought to end users and power users, but we did not forget about our IT admins. Our team has a saying that admins are people too, and that's true for the SharePoint 2019 release. Now, too often, customers have felt that they needed a PhD in SharePoint to properly deploy and maintain a SharePoint farm. Or they may have brought in some consultants to help them out, and sometimes one consultant would say one thing that contradicts something that another consultant would say, and now the customer doesn't even know where to go. So, starting with SharePoint 2016, we began a journey to simplify the SharePoint administration experience. We introduced min-role to take the guesswork out of managing your topology with straightforward server roles. And we introduced zero downtime patching, so you could patch the farm during normal business hours and know that your farm would stay fully available to your users. I think a lot of IT admins would appreciate that, so they don't have to stick around on a Friday night patching farms. Well, now we continue that journey with the SharePoint 2019 release. Let's take a closer look. We start with hybrid. Now, those of you who remember the early days of our hybrid offering probably also remember the lengthy white papers you had to follow. Hybrid offers great experiences that you can't achieve alone with pure on-prem, but that's of no use if it's just too complex to set up. So to make this easier, we introduced the Hybrid Configuration Wizard. This wizard is available from the SharePoint Online Admin Center and significantly simplifies the configuration of a variety of hybrid features, such as search, OneDrive, taxonomy, and more. Well, now in SharePoint 2019, we've integrated the Hybrid Configuration Wizard directly into on-prem central administration. Now it's easy to configure a hybrid as part of the Farm Configuration Wizard experience, or anytime you'd like, with a single click in central administration. This is especially helpful for customers who start out by dipping their toes in the hybrid pond, and then later decide to adopt more hybrid capabilities. So no matter whether you're in SharePoint Online Admin Center or an on-prem central admin, enabling hybrid is just a click away. So,
yeah, you can clap.
Yeah. Now, security continues to be a top concern for organizations. Many are locking down their email infrastructure to block anonymous connections, which can be abused to send spam or spread malware throughout their networks. Now, unfortunately, SharePoint has had a difficult time integrating in these environments because we only supported anonymous connections. Customers had to deploy anonymous relay servers with complicated rules to allow anonymous emails from their SharePoint servers while blocking it from everywhere else. And as we know, complexity is the enemy of security. SharePoint 2019 solves that problem by introducing support for SMTP authentication. Now SharePoint can authenticate directly to your email servers without a need to deploy anonymous relay servers. SharePoint supports the popular authentication protocols such as Kerberos, NTLM, and Login. And that, in combination with our support for TLS connection encryption, will make many of your network security departments very happy. Yeah. And SharePoint 2019 will continue to support anonymous connections to SMTP servers that don't require authentication. All right. Now, in addition to everything that we've talked about so far, we've also made some improvements under the hood to support these modern SharePoint experiences. First, we've added support for the pound and percent characters in file and folder names in SharePoint. Yeah.
Yeah, that one should deserve a clap.
This completes our support for the valid Windows file and folder name characters within SharePoint. This is especially useful for syncing content from your personal devices to SharePoint without getting syncing errors. We've also increased the maximum URL length from 260 characters to 400 characters. As a result, you can now have more expressive names for your sites, libraries, folders, and file names. Or you can use deeper nesting when organizing your content. Now, how many of you have been in a situation where you had an important deadline only to discover that your documents were missing right before when you needed them? Then you later discover that those documents had accidentally been deleted by somebody else. It's pretty frustrating, right? Well, we think so too, which is why we've enhanced the SharePoint Recycle bin to allow you to recover not only content that you delete, but content that other people have deleted in team sites as well. So as long as you had edit permission to that content at the time it was deleted, you'll be able to recover it from the recycle bin. The team has also made various performance improvements in our file upload-download scenarios and page load times. In some scenarios, we've seen improvements of up to 25% compared to SharePoint 2016. So that's pretty exciting too. And finally, the SharePoint team has been reviewing our code base to understand where we're still relying on legacy technologies and where there are opportunities to modernize that code base. One such opportunity was our IIS integration, where it turns out we were still relying on the old IIS6 APIs from the Windows Server 2003 days. Well, we've updated that code to instead use the modern IIS APIs. This allows us to remove our dependencies on those old IIS6 backward compatibility components and better positions us to take advantage of any potential future improvements in IIS. All right. Let's see another demo here of some of these improvements. Let's switch over to number 6. Thank you. All right, so here you see the new SharePoint 2019 Central Administration site. Now, immediately, you might notice a couple of changes. For example, over here on the right side, we've actually pre-populated some resource links for you. The first link takes you to our SharePoint Server documentation on the new docs.microsoft.com IT Admin Documentation Center. This gives you direct access to all your SharePoint documentation to make sure that you're successfully deploying and maintaining your SharePoint environment. The second link is a direct link to our SharePoint Server Updates article, which shows all of the latest monthly updates that we release. So now you can understand immediately what are the latest updates that you would want to get installed into your environment to stay up to date. In addition, up in the center, you see a new green status bar up here, which tells you how to unleash the full potential of SharePoint. This status bar will appear once your environment meets all the prerequisites that are necessary to enable hybrid. For example, making sure you have the UPA service application provisioned and a couple of others. Once that appears, you can click this link to directly launch the hybrid configuration wizard. Let's take a look at that now. Click open. And there you go. There's the hybrid configuration wizard ready to configure your SharePoint farm for hybrid. Now, the configuration wizard is actually the same thing that you see in SharePoint 2016 today, so I won't actually walk all the way through it. But for those of you who haven't seen it before, it offers a very simple checkbox experience for picking which hybrid experiences you want to enable. No white papers you have to follow, no complicated PowerShell scripts. It does all the hard work for you. Now, why don't we switch over and take a look at some of those file improvements. So we're going to switch back to my personal OneDrive site here. And what I want to do is maybe add a new folder with some interesting characters in it. So this is my #1 folder that also has 100% of my files. So that folder has been created with some pound and percent characters in there. And I can also choose to drag and drop these file names with pound and percent characters in them. So here we see my file here that says Contoso is #1 at supporting 100% Windows file names. And if I go back to my OneDrive, let me get signed in there. Oops, the wrong folder. There we go. So here we see that folder has already been synced. If I go into that folder, that file has already been synced as well. And you notice there were no syncing errors as a result of that. So now you have a reliable syncing experience for all of your Windows files and folders. All right. Let's switch back to the slides. So let's also talk about what's changing in SharePoint 2019 in terms of deprecations and removal. Now, although we've introduced many exciting improvements in SharePoint 2019, there are a few deprecations and removals that we want to announce as well. So first, let's make sure we all understand what the differences are between the two. A deprecated feature is a feature that is still supported in SharePoint 2019, but it's one that we're no longer choosing to invest in. Microsoft recommends that customers begin exploring alternatives to these features because they could be removed in future on-premises releases. On the other hand, a removed feature is one that will no longer be supported by Microsoft in the SharePoint 2019 release. Now, many of these deprecated features are not necessarily news to you. They've already been announced as deprecated in previous releases or in SharePoint Online. In those cases, we're simply reiterating their deprecated status in SharePoint 2019 as well. For our software requirements, because we've modernized the architecture of SharePoint 2019, we've also modernized the system requirements. SharePoint 2019 requires either Windows Server 2016 or Windows Server 2019 as the server OS. For databases, we require SQL Server 2016 or SQL Server 2017. Our prerequisites have also been updated with the latest versions of a variety of components, such as the .NET Framework, SQL Server Native Client, and Visual C++ redistributable package for Visual Studio 2017. All right, and Haney, can you talk about how to get to 2019?
Sure. So we told you the requirements. Now it's how to get your content into SharePoint 2019. And with that, we offer two paths. First one is upgrade. We support upgrading your SharePoint 2016 content by DB attach into SharePoint 2019. It's a traditional way to upgrade. I know many of you have a question, can I upgrade directly from 2013 to 2019? The answer is no. We looked long and hard to try to support that scenario, but we ran into technical challenges that prevented us from landing this scenario on time. So the only upgrade path is from 2016 to 2019. But you can go directly through migration. So if you migrate, some of the migration vendors that are present at the Expo, they can support migrating your content directly from previous versions of SharePoint directly to 2019. So this is the similar upgrade path that we had basically for every single release of SharePoint on-prem, and we're continuing that for 2019. So just to wrap up, I hope that you've seen a lot of the innovation that's coming into SharePoint 2019. It's a major on-prem release, the best that we have so far. It affirms our commitment to our on-prem customers. We value your loyalty to SharePoint, and we want to continue supporting you until you're ready to move to the cloud. SharePoint 2019 brings the cloud closer to you by giving you loads of cloud-borne user experiences to modernize your productivity and your IT infrastructure. And it also brings you closer to the cloud by making your hybrid experience seamless and consistent. So with that, it's your turn. This is your call to action. Get ready for SharePoint 2019. We're looking at an October release, so that's around the corner. There's a public preview that was released end of July. We ask you to, if you haven't installed it yet, install it, get familiar with the features, give us feedback. We always want to hear from you. Get your content databases upgraded so you kind of start planning rolling out SharePoint 2019 into your environment. And with that, I want to thank you all for attending, and we're open for questions. Oh, by the way, don't forget the evaluation.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, come on up to the microphone and let us know.
Go ahead. Just a really quick one. The mobile app, do you need to have some sort of edge gateway to make it work?
But surely SharePoint has to be on the internet for it to work.
Correct. Or if you VPN, you can VPN in and get that.
A VPN on the phone.
If you have a VPN client.
Okay.
For the clients that are can't do hybrid due to regulation, all the little updates that are coming in web parts and things that we're seeing in the modern experience, how quickly or will those be coming to share to the server version in the future?
So I'm not sure if I got the question.
All the little changes in the web parts, the updates and web parts and pages and things like that that you're seeing, that we're seeing in online,
Yep.
that you guys are regularly releasing over time.
Yep.
How soon will those be coming to server, if at all?
Yeah, so basically for SharePoint 2019, whatever snapshot that we got from the cloud, those are the features that we have. From there, we're going to maintain those particular features. We don't anticipate adding additional features from the cloud and adding it to SharePoint 2019. We started that journey in 2016 with the feature packs, because if you recall, SharePoint 2016 was more of an infrastructure release. It didn't have a lot of end-user experiences. So we wanted in Feature Pack 1 deliver the OneDrive experience. In SharePoint 2019, we went all the way with the end-user experiences. So we're not planning to do additional feature packs for 2019.
Okay, thanks.
You partially answered my question. I was going to ask about the feature pack releases.
So
with 2016, we saw feature pack releases to support the SharePoint framework. Are there going to be any new releases to keep pace with the framework releases, or because we kind of died at 1.2 on 2016, and you know there's a big disconnect with the support for what's out there in the cloud and what's on-prem?
Sure. So there's no plans to continue feature pack support for 2016. Feature pack 2 was our last one. And again, the idea is we're modernizing everything in 2019. So you can think about 2019 is the next set of features that are available for you.
So is the framework, as it grows on Office 365, is it going to continue to keep pace on 2019?
There's no current plan to keep the code base in sync between the cloud and 2019. That's something that we'll have to think about once we think about the next release.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and our framework is currently snapped to about, I believe, 1.4.1, if I remember right, for 2019. Yeah. Want to go over here?
Will the new sync client be compatible with older servers, and when can we expect to use it, start using it?
Oh yeah. So the question is, will the new OneDrive sync client, the next-gen sync client, will it be compatible with older versions of SharePoint Server on-prem? The answer is no. The only on-prem version that it will support is SharePoint Server 2019. So those older servers, they will still have to rely on the Groove sync client.
And the release date for the client, same as the server?
Yes. Yes. As soon as SharePoint 2019 is GA, we'll support the syncing experience with that. Yeah. Over here.
I'm not sure. I don't think this one's on, but I'll try it. Is it on? Okay. So in the past, we've done a 2007 to 13 upgrade by just hopping to 10 with database upgrade, then to 13 using Azure. Can we do that with 13 to 19? Just upgrade the databases and then push them over to 19?
You can, yes. So as long as you basically get those databases up to the SharePoint 2016 schema level, then you can attach those databases to SharePoint 2019, and they will get upgraded to 2019 schema level.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't want to be rude. I have another session in another building. So Troy is going to be around to answer questions, but unfortunately I have to run to make my next session. It's a migration session, so feel free to join.
Thank you, Haney.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for those of you who, did I lose my mic? Okay. So for those of you who want to join Haney at the migration session, you can follow him over to the Hyatt. For those of you who still have on-prem questions, we can stick around, we can talk some more until they tell us it's time for us to go, in which case, head on down to the Expo booth. We have the SharePoint Server booth down there. I'm going there right after this. We can talk more there. But in the meantime, let's get some more questions.
Are there any plans in the future to update the configuration wizard that we use after patching?
The PS config, that configuration wizard?
Yes, the GUI.
Right now, we don't have any plans for that, but if there are any parts of that you'd like to see some changes for, we'd be happy to hear that feedback.
Yep, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You guys said that you guys have removed IIS 6 dependencies. How you guys have done that for incoming email? How you also guys remove IIS 6 dependencies?
Right. So if you look back to that deprecation slide that we had, one of the things that we listed as removed was the automatic configuration of incoming email, because that automatic configuration actually depended on those IIS6 APIs, and there are no replacement APIs for that. So we still support incoming email, but only through manual configuration mode. What that basically means is you will need to manually configure the drop folder that your email will go into, and then SharePoint will look at that drop folder and pick up emails as they arrive.
And I can do that without doing it with under IIS 6.0?
However you get the email to show up in that drop folder is up to you. So you can still leverage the IIS SMTP server, which would still require the IIS6, or any other mail server that can just drop emails to that folder, including Exchange Server.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do the communications sites replace the blog sites now?
I'm sorry, say it again?
The blog sites are replaced by the communication sites?
Oh, is the question, have communication sites replaced blog sites?
Yes.
Is that right? I don't believe they have, not that I can recall. Basically, communication sites you can think of as kind of the modern portal site for sort of having organization-wide information that people can refer to for, like, top level, like HR or news or those kind of sites. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Are there any changes on the app catalog? So on-prem, you don't have to have an app catalog for every web part?
I am not personally aware of there being any changes there. However, I'm not an app catalog expert, so I may want to refer you to some of our developer experience folks who probably know that a little bit better.
Okay, is that down?
Yeah, so down in the booth, come find us and we can find you the right people. Yeah.
So you have two versions of SQL that are supported and two versions of OS that are supported. Is there any deprecation of functionality if you use the older versions over the newer versions?
Off the top of my head, no. All of the features and experiences we've described, they are compatible with all of the versions of the OS and database that you see here. Really, basically, just improvements you might see in like Windows Server 2019, like those kind of fundamental improvements. Like we can certainly take advantage of them, but there are no SharePoint features or functionality that only lights up on like newer versions of Windows or SQL.
With the new OneDrive on-prem sync, does that mean we will also get integration with Microsoft Teams?
So when you say integration with Microsoft Teams, what do you have in mind?
Microsoft Teams currently doesn't have any integration for files opening in Teams on-premise SharePoint sites.
Yeah, so Teams is one of those cloud-only experiences, so there is no sort of Teams equivalent for on-prem. So in terms of the OneDrive sync client being able to sync up with Teams, you probably wanted to go talk to actually the OneDrive folks on that. I believe that they should have that experience already, but I could be mistaken. So yeah, go talk to the OneDrive folks. Over there?
Okay. With the SQL Server reporting services integrated mode no longer being supported, is there a web part? And if there is it going to look and feel similar to how the integrated mode works?
Right. So I'm actually going to have to get back to you on that because the SQL Server team is the one that actually manages those reporting services and BI experiences because it's actually their features. So I want to say that there is, but I want to double check on that before I give you that official answer.
Okay, thanks.
Over here?
The special character inclusion in the file name, is that coming to cloud as well? Because I don't think it's in the cloud right now.
So interestingly enough, that has actually already been in the cloud for a little while now, like the ability to support pound and percent characters. It's something that they've kind of rolled out over time, and initially it was like an opt-in feature, and eventually it became an opt-out feature. The reason why we had that is because to support these new characters, we had to introduce like new APIs that were sort of safe to use these characters with. And if you had any solutions that kind of relied on the old APIs, they may not be compatible with these kind of characters. So we have that capability to sort of opt in and opt out, just to have that relief valve if necessary for older solutions that are not using the new APIs.
Thanks.
Quick question. If we customize the on-prem SharePoint and then copy it to Office 365, is there a chance we're going to get the exact same look? Because some of the problems we have, of course, is when we copy things from on-prem to Office 365, they change. Now with SharePoint 2019, are we saying we can now copy stuff from on-prem to Office 365 and keep everything exactly as it is?
Yeah, it depends on the nature of your customization and whether you're basically using the latest technologies like the SharePoint framework-based customizations. If you're using some of the older stuff, like master pages and things like that, that can certainly be tricky as you bring those over. But if you're using, SharePoint framework-based customizations, like the intention is that you can write it once and it runs equally well both on-prem and in the cloud. So that makes those migrations a lot simpler.
So if we customize it in SharePoint 2019, will we be able to copy it into the cloud and it keeps the same settings? I mean, that's one of the things that we want to make sure we do.
Yeah. So as long as you're using kind of SharePoint framework-based customizations and you're kind of following our best practices, then yes.
And how fast will you be changing? I'm sorry about this. How fast will you be changing the framework? Because that's one of the things. I mean, I won't say I was disappointed, but you said you're going to be changing the framework faster than we can do it on-prem. How fast will we be notified about that change? Because that's key.
I don't know if I can actually answer that question. I'm not on the team that is managing the framework.
Yeah.
But we actually have members of that team who are here at the conference. So if you come on down to the booths, we can probably hook you up with those folks and they can talk about some more.
So why should we move to SharePoint 2019? What's the key? I mean, I know you give us a whole thing, but what's the, when it comes to migration to the cloud, what can you say? I mean, can you say it's the best way to move to the cloud? I mean, is it the best next step or?
Well, our philosophy is actually every version of SharePoint should be able to get you to the cloud, because we think, no matter where you're at, we want you to be able to move to the cloud. Okay. What we think is great about 2019 is that, especially for those customers who are in hybrid mode, you want to have that kind of consistent experience for your users, regardless of whether you're on-prem or in the cloud. And the more they're different, kind of the more friction and confusion and training is required, right? So you want to have like the common modern team site experience, modern doc libs, modern lists, the app launcher, all that kind of stuff. So for people who are intending to stay on-prem for a while or to be in hybrid, we think 2019 is a great place to be for that because you'll have that consistency between on-prem and cloud.
Oh, thank you.
Over here.
Hi, I have a couple questions. First, is the current build of Office Online Server the preferred version to deploy with SharePoint 2019? Is there a new version of OS, or should we stick with what we have?
Right, so the question is Office Online Server the one that's out right now? Is that the version to use, or is there a better version to use with 2019 and so on? So the good news about Office Online Server is they are following what they call kind of like an evergreen model, where basically like, once or twice a year, they're kind of releasing an updated version. I think the most recent release came out like in November of last year, if I remember right. There is a newer release coming out later. That will be compatible with 2019, but the existing release that's out right now is also compatible with 2019.
We have time for one more.
I'm sorry. The other thing is, could you clarify? I heard that WFM 1.1 is the version that is to be used with SharePoint 2019, or is there another version that we should use?
Basically, the latest version that is supported right now in 2016 will be the one that's also supported in 2019. So that's Service Bus 1.1 with Workflow Manager 1.0 CU5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. For those with robust news sites already, is there a way that you can integrate those news articles that we already have in 2013, but want to take advantage of a new communication site, having those serve up in there as well?
So off the top of my head, I don't think you can sort of just automatically bring them over from your 2013 sites into communication sites in 2019. That'll basically mean you need to use a migration tool to help sort of get those brought into those new kind of site templates.
But I know there's like certain things that limit you for it to be recognized as a news article. That's exposed through those migration tools?
Those migration tools are basically, these are third-party migration partners who are designing these tools, so you really need to talk to them to understand what they provide.
Okay.
Cool. So we are out of time for questions. However, I'm heading down to the SharePoint Server booth down in the expo hall, or I guess, yeah, it is down in the expo hall. So feel free to come on by with any more questions you have. Happy to talk to you. Thanks for coming, everybody.